guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you my everyday makeup drawer for August. So in my everyday makeup drawer videos, I always go through my makeup collection. I pick out products that I haven't used in a really long time or newer products in my collection that I want to test out for the month. I put them in a separate drawer and use them throughout the month. Then at the end of the month, I'll let you guys know my thoughts about them. So if you guys want to know what products I'm going to be choosing for August and also recap of all the products I chose for July, then just keep on watching. Alright, so getting back into my everyday makeup drawer for July, a lot of the products in here ended up in my favorites for July, like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. And I totally exaggerated the price when I was talking about it in my favorites video. I think this is $44. I was saying it was like $50 or $60. So it's not as expensive as I thought, and it's totally worth it. Love this as like a primer illuminator. So gorgeous. Gives you a little bit of a tint too. And then also my custom blot drops from Cover FX. It takes any foundation, makes it a little bit more mattifying without feeling drying, and it also doesn't change the texture of your foundation. I've been using the ColourPop foundation, but I used it a couple times and I used it with the custom blot drops, and using that together and also applying more concealer like on my nose and the center of my forehead has made the foundation work out a lot better for me, because that's where it would break down throughout the day. Really love the finish of this. Just, it's not super long wearing, but I think that in the fall, I will like this foundation a lot better when it's not hot and humid, because it's supposed to be a mattifying foundation, but it's more of like a kind of slightly dewy foundation on me. And then I don't know why this is still in there. This is empty. This is like the only primer I've used in the past year, like completely used up by my pores, by It Cosmetics. Pore filling and hydrating, awesome primer. We have the Kush Mascara from Milk Makeup. I like it. It's a nice mascara. It's not life-changing. It's good. Yeah, that's about it. Loving the Lancome Absolute Powder. I use that almost every day. Okay, I totally forgot to add this to my favorites video. Like, I stopped recording and then an hour later I remembered that I totally forgot to mention this. This is amazing. The contour kit, Cali Contour Kit from Smashbox. Now, it is kind of powdery, but I've actually used this every single day for at least the past month. I'll mix these two shades, the bronzer and the contour, together as a contour shade. Sometimes I'll mix in the blush with one of the highlighters just to make it a little bit more glowy. The highlighters in here are really subtle, but I end up using all of the products in here mixed together mostly and not just on their own. So really, really like this, and I think they just came out with a new one that is either deeper or just has like more bright shades. And then both the Balm palette and the Too Faced palette I used a little bit, but honestly eyeshadow palettes are what I end up using the least, because I buy so many new eyeshadow palettes, like the new ColourPop palettes and the Norvina palette I was using a ton this month. But really fell back in love with the Chocolate Gold palette. It's definitely an amazing palette. Super pretty. This shade Rich Girl, like one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. It's like this chrome neutral color, so pretty. So definitely recommend that palette if you guys ever want to pick it up. I still really like this palette from the Balm. It's just like a really underrated neutral warm palette. It has like every shade that I like for go-to eye look. Like I use this a ton and I use this a ton. Really, really pretty formula. Really like this palette, but that's just kind of like an everyday kind of palette for me. Then back here, so I really didn't end up using a couple of the highlighters I picked out. I used the blushes that I just keep in here, and even the cream highlighters that I have from Galactic. The Skin Glows, the one that I like the most is the Skin Glow in Moonlight. So I especially like this shade as either a base for my highlighter and top it off with powder highlighter, or just use it on its own. I've been going into that like more editorial, maybe not editorial, not that dramatic, more of that like Glossier makeup vibe where it's just like minimal, like dewy, you know what I mean. It's just like a very natural, dewy look. I've been doing that a lot, like on the weekends if I want to put on makeup and go somewhere but I don't want to spend a lot of time on it and I don't want to look like I spent a lot of time on it. This is my highlighter for that, basically. I also feel the same way about the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighters. These are actually really pigmented. I forgot about it. I was wearing it this past week and it's so pretty just on its own. The highlighters I didn't end up using. Well, I used them, but I feel like I don't love them as much as I did, and I wasn't doing my makeup to suit these tones. The Fenty Beauty highlighter. This is Crystal Fire and Lightning Dust. So this is like a more icy pink highlighter, and I was really into more of a champagne and gold and peachy highlighter this month. So I almost like would force myself to wear this, but it wouldn't match the majority of my makeup looks because I was really going for like pink and peachy tones. And the same with the Makeup Geek highlighter in Luster. This one is a little bit more of a pop and it has more of a bronzy look to it. Still gorgeous, but just the makeup looks I was doing this month didn't make sense with this color. I was really just into like my Maybelline Master Comb highlighter. I was wearing that all the time. And then there's a couple products that I'll keep in here for next month. Maybe not all of these, but just some of them. And I think I'm not gonna pick out any new lip products for this month because I don't think I touched any of these products this month other than this Too Faced lipstick, and I think I put another one in here too that I was just putting in my purse like every day. But other than that, I really didn't touch these products at all, so I'm just gonna keep them in here. And also in the next week or so, I wanna do a huge lip product declutter just because I have way too many that I never wear. So let me know if you guys are interested in seeing a lip declutter. I'll also talk about like my favorites and least favorites of just my whole collection. So we're gonna skip over the lips for today, basically is my point. I'm gonna clear out a couple more products in here and then move into picking out products for August. So I definitely see myself doing a couple declutter videos probably later this month because there's so many products that I still have in my collection that I barely reach for. So let's just put a couple of them to use this month and see what we get. Let's go for Hoola bronzer from Benefit. This is a fairly new one that they sent over, but I have one in another kit, but I actually really like this and I never ever use it, so let's go for this one. I'm also going to use this blush in the shade Capri from Kevyn Aucoin. It's like a bronzer blush hybrid. Like you could use this on its own for bronzer, but I just like to swirl everything together. Haven't used it in a while, but it's kind of like that shades that I really like, that bronzer kind of effect. So definitely going for that. Maybe this Dose of Colors highlighter. Yes, Mírame, I think is this one. Let's pull this one out too. It's like really, really pretty. Oh, I forgot how creamy it is. And just because I don't use this highlighter very often and I know that I love it, is the reason I didn't buy the I Love Sarah E collab with Dose of Colors because I wanted everything in her collection. I just think she's awesome. So I wanted to buy everything. But I bought everything in the Katie and Desi collab from last year and I only ended up using about half the products. So this is from their collab from last year. Love this highlighter. I rarely use it, so let's bring it back out. I'm like in such a rut with both my Persona Cosmetics highlighter and Amrezy highlighters. And lately, just because, oh, let's pick out this one too. This is another collab that I absolutely love and I haven't used at least since the spring. The That's Heart highlighter from e.l.f. This was my holy grail for like 6 months straight. So I'm ready to bring it back out. I just need to make myself not use the Persona highlighter every day because I hit pan on that one. And also the Amrezy highlighter because that's not available anymore. Okay, so let's also get out this Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. I cannot remember, maybe a couple months since the last time I used this, and I love it, but I am just not good at cream contour anymore. It's just like not in my routine anymore, and it was forever, but I need to get back into it, especially on like lighter makeup days, just like a really quick little contour routine. So these in here are new products from Pop Sugar Beauty. They sent over like these little trios that have highlighter and then bronzer and blush on the bottoms. They're just open up like this. So I've used this like once or twice already, obviously, but I wanted to try it out a bit more because I couldn't even tell you the formula just because I used it like really quickly on a light makeup day. So I'm gonna test that out for the month. I think this one's a little bit dark, but I'm gonna keep it in there for now. And I'm just kind of ready to like declutter half my collection, honestly, because there's so much that I don't use and I've just been like really into my absolute favorite product. Then I'm also gonna pull out Rocketour from Benefit. I just got a whiff of it, just opening it, and it smells absolutely amazing. It's like this really light floral perfume that I just love the smell of it. It makes me so happy when I apply it. I haven't used it in a really long time. This is probably gonna be more of a fall time blush for me, but I wanna go ahead and bring it out because we're using a lot of Benefit products this month. So I think that's the theme here. And I think that's gonna be everything from here for this month. I definitely, like, I really do need to do a declutter. And it will be a, like, Jessica Braun style declutter where I get rid of like half of everything. That will be the goal. Okay, in here, let's see. Let's go with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation for just a change up of my foundation. I've been really into the Too Faced Born This Way, and that's kind of like a similar coverage. So I'm gonna bring this one out. And then also let's go for the Lancome foundation. So I kind of have to mix both of these together. They're both very, very different shade. The Tint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation. I have one in the shade like 250. It's way, way, way too light. And then 410 that they sent me. So I'm gonna mix these together. I tried it out a couple times and it actually works really nicely. I think I'm actually the shade like 320 or something. So like right in the middle of both of these. But 410, actually like the way darker shade, matches me way better than 250. Like I knew when I bought it that it was too light and I just added a ton of bronzer, and yeah, I don't want to do that. I want it to just like match me. So I'm gonna mix these together and use them because I know I love the formula, but I never really had the perfect match, so I wasn't using it as much. Then let's pull out this powder. This is kind of random. It's a powder foundation from Urban Decay. This is the powder that I bring with me when I travel. If I'm on the plane, this is like all I'll wear on my face, and I never really wear it otherwise. So let's go ahead and use this and just maybe end up putting this in my purse for the month, just on like a day-to-day basis. So these will be the two primers that I'm using for the month. The Airbrush Away primer from number 7. It's a really nice blurring primer that's hydrating at the same time. And then also the Skin Illuminator from number 7. I think I may have used this product once, the Skin Illuminator. Airbrush Away, I would use all the time. Like I really love that product. But Skin Illuminator, I've barely ever used it. So I think it's kind of like an opposite product to Airbrush Away, more of like a dewy, glowy kind of primer product. So those will be my primers for the month. And then that is gonna be everything for this drawer because I think like there's a lot in here that I can end up decluttering very soon and show you guys that. Alright, so next up we have eyeshadow palettes, and I think mostly this month I was using ColourPop a lot, or my Norvina palettes, because ColourPop came out with the new palettes. I did my comparison video. I've been into a lot of my ColourPop palettes a lot. Oh, I want to use this because this was my favorite neutral palette last fall. Laura Lee Los Angeles Cat's Pajamas. Like this shade right here would be on my lid every single day, and I just saw it in my collection the other day and I'm like, I need to start using that again. So I'm gonna use this as like my everyday neutral palette. And then let's see, like one more palette at least. So these were like in the way back of my drawer, and I think I want to choose both of them. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Eye palette. It's a pretty pricey palette. It's like $70 or $80. It is pretty expensive, and it's a smaller palette, but it has like some really nice neutrally shades, like this shade in the Disco Eye trio. They're all like different trios, and I would wear this one a lot. Yeah, I think this one and the transition shades from here, I was wearing that a lot last fall. So for more of an everyday look, this is a gorgeous palette. I actually wanted to maybe pass this along to my mom, but I like the palette too much right now. So maybe in the future I will get her that palette because I think it's just like a very nice like neutral everyday palette. And then this is the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette, and this is definitely an amazing palette that I even forget about in my collection. The pans are huge. I love the shade Royal Highness. I just love all the shades in here, honestly, and Your Majesty, those are my favorites. So if I want a little bit more color, more orange toned, more purple eye looks, like I should wear this all over my lid and do an eye look with that because it's just like a very gorgeous shade, super pigmented, very like the shimmers in here are really like super pigmented, really stand out colors. So I'm gonna include this one too. And then I'm also gonna pull out 1 to 2 base palettes for the month because this drawer just gets forgotten about in my collection, honestly. So this, I was looking at the other day and I honestly don't know if I've used this yet. I can't remember if I've used it because I have some of the products in full size, but this is a really gorgeous cream highlighter that I need to test out. So this is the Butter Collection palette from Physicians Formula, and I think the reason I just didn't use it yet is because I have these 2 shades, but I was dying to try out this cream highlighter. Oh my gosh, it feels like super smooth. That's a really gorgeous color, so I need to use it before it starts to like dry out because the packaging isn't like sealed completely. And I've had it for like 2 months now and it feels completely brand new, like it's not drying out at all, but definitely need to start putting this to use. I use the perfume that comes with it like every single day. It's like the only perfume I've worn this summer, but everything else I need to start to use. So definitely going to include this for the month. And then let's see, one more. So I think I actually want to include the Tarte's Pro Glow highlighter palette because this was my favorite, and you guys will see. I forgot about this. What it was this weekend, somebody had tagged me in my review video of this palette that I completely forgot about, and then I looked it up in my collection and I'm like, I used to use this all the time and I totally forgot about it. So like lit, you can see there's a big dent in here, and this is kind of an older palette, so I should just keep this throughout like the rest of the year, and then it's probably like too old. Honestly, I'm saying that, but like I have this palette in here that's like 5 years old at least. But let me go ahead and pull this out for the month because there's a lot of varieties of different highlighter shades that I can definitely use. All right, so here is everything in my drawer for August. I feel like I picked out a lot more than I normally do. I think it's just because I forget about so many products in my collection, and that's what makes me really want to do a declutter, because I'm just like in a habit with all my favorite products and I don't want to have a lot of excess. So you guys will be seeing some declutters in the next couple weeks. Like I said, I didn't switch out any of the lip products because I barely wore them. I still need to test out the Pixie lipsticks a little bit more. I actually just got a bunch of new lip products from CoverGirl too that I'll be sharing soon, some of my favorite shades and stuff. And then everything else are products I haven't used in a really long time that are either my favorites or like I'm not sure about. So that is everything for the month. Definitely like way more full than some previous months, so we'll see how much I end up using, but I'll keep you guys posted in next month's everyday makeup drawer. And yeah, that's everything for this drawer. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.